Okay, so we just completed our joint mobility series, and so that's focusing on a very localized area where two bones meet. And so now we're going to move into our movers, and that's our muscles. They are responsible for lengthening and shortening, generating force, and also hopefully maintaining flexibility. So flexibility by definition is just how far can you reach to a point with assistance, whether you're holding your toes, pushing up against the wall. So mobility in a sense is a little bit more applicable to running. There's a lot of runners who are not very flexible but who are very mobile. So don't get the two mixed up, but we do want to focus on flexibility because it does reduce the amount of strain on the joint mobility. So they go hand in hand and they work together. So here's our normal, usually strength-based day dynamic stretching series. So the first exercise we're going to start with is a double down dog calf stretch. And so we're going to focus on just pushing our heels into the ground and raising our hips up. So as our hips go up, we're going to push the heels into the ground. Our head should get between our shoulders. Now, dynamic stretching is different than static stretching. We want to mimic and prepare our body for movement. So we want these to be continuously moving and then also through the full range of motion. So our full range of motion is to get our heels to touch the ground. And we're actually not getting there completely wearing shoes, but it's completely appropriate if we're out at the park and we got to loosen up. But my preferable way to do it would be to have no shoes on. So breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it starts down at the bottom. Our calves are responsible for ankle extension, so we want to make sure that we can extend all the way through. We're going to move now into kneeling hip flexor. So we're going to go to our next joint here, and we want to just gently squeeze this glute and lean forward. And imagine that we're leaning into our ideal running stride, that if this back leg was extended, we'd have this nice, big, strong stride. And that's going to be dependent on our hip flexor and extensor, how strong our glute can contract, and how loose this hip flexor is. That's going to allow that long leg behind us. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm doing this stretch with the toe down behind me because we want that flexed ankle always in preparation and running. Creates a shorter lever. Now if we were to do this as a post stretch, I'd point that toe away so I can get a tibialis anterior or a shin stretch. So if you've ever had shin sprints, that's going to help you relax those muscles and so they don't stay tight and hopefully don't have any pain. So that should be about 9 and 10. And when I do this, I'm focusing on making sure my spine is straight and I'm concentrating right here at the hip, pushing through forward. So let's go to the other side. Much like a car, we want to make sure that we have hopefully as much equalness on both sides. It's 2, 3, and these stretches should be done kind of like in a jogging manner, so the contraction and relaxation is pretty slow. Because that's the next step, right? We're going to go out and we're going to start moving, but hopefully as a result of doing the mobility and the dynamic stretch, you're going to move better, and it's going to be faster, and you're going to get more out of your first couple minutes of running in the overall run than if it takes you 5 or 10 minutes to loosen up. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, good. So that's up high. I wanted to do the hip flexor second because that tends to be a very neglected group. Most people will go right into the quadricep muscle, which we will do. So this is a prone quadricep stretch. So what we want to do is keep knees close together, and we want to keep head down. Pull, relax, relax. 3. The more you can point your toe away, the better. 4, 5. Make sure you breathe out as you want to stretch. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we'll go to the other side. Straighten my leg. We want to do this just as if we were running. So if we were running, our heel at mid-foot strike would be right next to our bottom. So again, I'm going to point my toe down because on the ground, my foot would be flat, getting ready to roll over and extend, and this knee would be driving forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we want our ankles close to our bottom, basically in this position when we're running, all the way up underneath our hip and through knee drive before the foot goes down. So if you have running pictures, take a look at that position and see where your knees are in relation to each other, as well as how close that heel is to your bottom. Now moving up, we're going to go to lying hamstring. So we'll go from the front part of our thigh to the rear side. And what we want to do is we want to see how far we can get up with no assistance, and then just get a little tug. A little bit more range of motion. Keep that down foot touching the ground. Keep your ankle flexed. 5, 6, 7, 8. And you never want to hold for too long. You want it to be just like you're running. 9, and 10. Other side. 1. So interesting note here, my right quadricep was very tight compared to my left, and my right hamstring feels a little bit looser than my left. This is the type of information that you could pick up while you go through the series. 9, 10. Again, straight leg down, straight leg up. Otherwise, you're not really stretching as well as you could. The next one's not my favorite, but it's definitely necessary. It's called a straight leg sit back. So we're up in this position here, straight leg out, toe up, and all you're going to do is sit down and stretch the inner thigh. And I'll demonstrate 5 reps from the front, 5 from the side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like from the side. This leg is extended out away from the body, perpendicular to the movement. Toe down, and I'm just going to sit back. 7, 8, 9. And where you should feel this is on the inside of the thigh. Again, those are the muscles that are really important for knee tracking. So if you had any issues at the knee, you're going to definitely want to let me know so we can get you on some preventative exercises. So straight leg out, we're in this kind of down position. Forearms down, stretch. Come back up, hips forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me show you from this side with the last couple reps. Again, legs straight out. We're going to sit down, put forearms down, come up, sit back. 9, 10. Definitely not one of my favorites, but it's necessary. Okay, runner's lunge with external and internal rotation. So this is one of the best stretches a runner can do. Also with dynamic stretching, you're going to slowly start developing this little bit of submaximal strength because you've got to hold these positions. So with runner's lunge, we're going to be here, straight leg behind. I'm going to rotate up, other hand down, rotate up, take a step back, bring the other foot up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Try to keep hands flat on the ground. Internal. 1, 2. This is number 4. Okay, let me show you what it looks like from the side. We're going to be foot up close to the hand. Okay, here's our lunge. Rotate up, inside. Rotate up, outside. 6. Last one. What you're going to find is that you're going to start sweating and you know you're getting better and ready to run. Thread the needle is to get rid of some of that tightness that you might have developed a little bit from holding that lunge position. So we're going to take our down position. We're just going to try to put our shoulder on the ground on both sides. Get our hand as far away as possible. To stretch across the upper back. And I'll show you from the side. And this is called thread the needle shoulder. So from the side, again, toes underneath, reach through, reach through, reach through, reach through. Two more. Put that outside shoulder on the ground. Now our last one can be done seated or standing, and we focus on that stretch across the upper back. So now I'm going to just focus on the chest, reach up. Now some people with really good flexibility across the chest, really good shoulder mobility, can raise their hands up to near perpendicular to their torso. Whereas for me, it's a little bit more challenging. Just happy I can still get my hands together. 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's a dynamic stretch series, and the difference in heat that's generated, I can feel it is about 2 or 3 times more than the mobility, just because I'm getting those muscles to lengthen and shorten. So again, we are getting ready to run. So that is our dynamic stretch series for Monday. You'll see that exact series over and over, and then there's a different slightly version for when we're going to do something a little bit more vigorous.